Hiya, welcome back to the show with me, Jo Whiley, and my guests, Brett Anderson, Neneh and John Power. So, all farewells should be sudden, but last week the Verve proved otherwise. After continuing speculation surrounding the band's relations last year, they finally called it a day. Arguably the best British band of the decade, but what kind of legacy are they leaving? We'll take a look back at the bittersweet history of the boys from Wigan. Neneh, the Verve is seen as being one of the greatest bands of the decade. Where do you stand on that?
I think they're a very great band.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a shame to see them go.
Probably relieved, you know what I mean? It's probably some shit that's been going on for ages, and they probably just want to get out of it, get on with their careers, you know what I mean? They're probably really happy.
No,
and yeah, it's happy when, it's a bad scene when bands split up and that, and it's
end of an era.
But why do you think they have split up? Is it the pressure of actually all getting on together? Obviously, Nick and Cave.
It just happens, you know. You just grow apart sometimes, and you really can't do anything about it.
How did you feel when Bernard Butler left?
Okay, well, I said before, it was pretty sad, you know. I was like looking back at what we'd done, because I thought we'd done some really good stuff, and I really liked it. And it was sad that the partnership broke up, but again, you know, he wasn't happy in the band, and I'm going to keep him. I mean, you can't keep someone against your will.
Yeah.
And I look back on it, and I'm quite glad it happened in a way, because I'm happier, and I think he's a lot happier. And
that vibe only spread. You know, once you got something that doesn't want to be there, that's only going to bring the whole ship down.
It's going to be worse in the end.
Go where you got to go, do what you got to go, you know, be what you want to be, you know, and we'll carry on doing what we're going to do, like, you know, sort of thing. I suppose that's the idea, like.
Yeah.
Although I wasn't in Suede, so I shouldn't have answered it.
Do you want to join?
Got some ideas.
We haven't got a new member for this album.
Is it important to Suede to keep changing all the time? Has it kind of really benefited you from having?
It's just something.
The odd member.
No, it isn't something that people must see it as something that we kind of like written into our contract or something. Get a new member again. But it's not like that. It's out of necessity, and it's quite a natural process. I mean, the whole thing of being in a band is much more of a natural process than a lot of people think. Lots of people think it's a very orchestrated, manipulative thing, and really you're just fumbling through, and things happen. You meet people, you want them to join a band, you fall out with people, and they leave and stuff like that. And it really is quite a natural process.
No, the Verve were a very private band, and they rarely gave any interviews.
And there was this like, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
I like.
But there was quite a mystique about them. Do you think that added to their appeal rather than kind of just spreading themselves?
I think that you know, the sort of the overkill syndrome definitely overkills, and I think that when there's a bit of sort of room left for the punter, the person reading about the interviews and buying the records, to kind of look a bit and find out a bit for yourself.
Yeah,
I think the sort of there might be a bit more longevity. Things that are just rammed down your throat on crisp packets and Mars packets, and it's just in your face all day. After a year, you've just OD'd, basically.
Yeah, I think when you say the Verve were like a secretive band, I think the reason it worked was like it was natural. I don't think it was a kind of put on, like, you know, this shying away from the limelight. I think that's the way they were, like, you know, that's the way, you know, they are. You know, even though they're split up, I'm sure they're going, you know, that was the way Richard's going to be, like, it's beautiful.
You know, we've been put under so many different banners and so a group with so many different...
Which have been your favourites?
Well, we started off and we were called something with the Verve and us and a couple of other bands, and we were called this New Glam Association. So that was like in 1993, and like it's just the way the music press works. They work, you know, they put groups into packs, and you know, 'cause it's easier for people to understand if everyone's under the same label. So, you know, these scenes that happen are just really boring, and they're just one-dimensional.
Metaphors made up by
I mean, you know, I think the most healthy thing about the music scene in 1999 is that I don't think there is any one particular umbrella term that people put over bands. There's just a load of good music from different scenes. You know, there's a load of good dance music, there's a load of good rock music, a load of good pop music as well. And there's not one big scene, you know, and there isn't one silly, one-dimensional category that people try and categorise it. And, you know, this term Britpop was just it was dead before it started, wasn't it?
All right, we'll take some music now. After a 3-year break, Johnny Marr and Bernard Sumner of Electronic are back. The new album has just been released, and from Twisted Tenderness, this is Haze. Okay. Brilliant video and a brilliant song as well. Directed by Anton Corbijn, as we said. Neneh, first of all, the video you like?
Yeah, I think it's very nice. It's got a certain, you know, there's a marriage between the song and the video. It's horrible when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I think when a video makes sense of a song and a song makes sense of the video, you know,
well, it's like
you don't get that every
customizing a car
time.
or something,
you know, you get that every so many videos, you know, something seems to go right
Exactly.
about it.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes they go hand in hand, and they both propel each other onto a different plane.
Definitely.
And sometimes, you know, it just doesn't work. You can see there's a mismatch. But again, it's a cross-pollination of art forms, which is just part of the scene.
That album, Deserter Songs, is being claimed as the
greatest of all time.
No, of this year.
The
Greatest of the late 1990s.
Are they doing anything new with this, or?
Is anything new?
Difficult to know, isn't it?
No, I don't mean that. I'm just saying what's original. It's just reinterpreted, you know, each generation, like, you know.
Difficult to say. It's how you reinterpret
Breathing.
it. That's yeah. It might have its own originality, but basically everything comes from a point, doesn't it? But I don't know really.
Is it valid to reinterpret things though, or is it? I think it's a bit of a cop-out.
It's the only thing you've got. That's what generations.
No one is some Superman that can suddenly invent some new form of music. You know what I mean? That's just theoretical.
It's all beat,
you know what
melody,
I mean?
and punctuation.
You look at anyone any good, and it's always come somewhere, you know what I mean? Pop music's come from rhythm and blues, you know what I mean? The Beatles, who are the greatest musical innovators of all time, their music started off with rhythm and blues, you know what I mean? It just all comes from somewhere, it's just how you use it.
There's something fresh about it.
Yeah.
But I think, you know...
There's something really sweeping about that song. Yeah. I just think it's got a nice touch and a really good, like, kind of dreamy feel, like, you know. Quite Lennon-y, demo Lennon-y type of thing, like, you know.
I think it has a quality. And I think as well, the other thing is like, you know, the fact that they've been around for 9 years, it's like, I mean, I think we've talked about this before, it's probably a bonus in their book, you know? I mean, I know that with a band like R.E.M., for instance, you know, they were around for a long time before Losing My Religion came out and kind of went mad, and everyone was like, oh, have you been waiting for this? The whole when basically they were just playing and grafting,
doing their thing.
They're using kind of quite interesting sounds as well, as opposed to, you know, glockenspiels and trying to use different instruments.
Well, it's more like a veil, a backdrop. They've got
like
this kind of real, you know, it's a bit like the set here.
It's quite Neil Young, actually. His voice reminds me of Neil Young. Like, it's really nice. It's got a real thin quality to the voice. I like that.
Talking to Neil Young, I always imagined, you know, Shaggy off Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
When he sung, if he'd ever sung, like, it sounded like Neil Young, so maybe, just imagine it.
Just possibly.
Honestly.
Okay, thank you very much for all of you for doing the show today.
Thanks very much for having us.
Okay, thank you, Brett.
Thanks a lot.
And Neneh and John.
Splendid, Joe.
Next week, join me with 3D from Massive Attack and Garbage's Shirley Manson. Plus, we'll have live music from Gay Dad. And we'll leave you with this, the highly controversial video from Ash. 22-year-old Tim Wheeler hooked up with a couple of female friends in a New York hotel room and let the proceedings be filmed. Here, for the first time ever, is the result. Hold on to your stomachs. This is numbskull.